stole your boots. You went an hour and a half in a van, bought new boots, came back, and they stole those ones too. Did you ever get these boots back?
Oh God, one of the guys was wearing my boots.
Oh,
and he's like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?" And I was like, "Well, go buy some more boots."
What are you gonna do about it, nerd?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
No. Yes. Oh no. Okay, so moral of the story: if there's two morals from our two guests, it's play more Magic at your local game store from our good friend Kelly.
Yeah.
And the other one is, I guess, don't tell construction workers.
Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 475. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan today. We got some special guests here to talk some Magic stuff. It's some Innistrad. Now hit a theme song! Yeah. Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Hit a theme song.
Hit a theme song.
We don't know what it is.
We haven't picked it yet, as of now.
Now.
But in the future, when people are listening to this through the magic of technology, we will have one. And I hope you liked it, because we're sticking with it forever, unless you hate it, in which case we'll change it to something else.
Or we already have one because Editor Joe sung it last week, and we might just keep that one forever.
But he didn't send me the file of it, so I can edit it back in.
Oh, man.
And I can't get him to acapella that thing every week. That's asking a little much from our Editor Joe.
That's a little bit, yeah. So, hey, speaking of asking a lot of people, we have a special guest.
But before we get to that... We'll talk about that toast in a second.
Sure.
And there's a guy here, too, which is really kind of freaking me out. But we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're your source for all your gaming needs. And we also have to thank Pile of Bones Brewing Co. They're the second coolest thing to come out of Regina, as well as being the official beer sponsor for CCO Sidewalk Slam! Being recorded chronologically the day after tomorrow to be aired right here on YouTube.
Oh, so excited. We've got our first Sidewalk Slam in the damn studio. Big thanks to producer Gary. We're recording this totally at a different time. So he's like, come on, we gotta go. He's running around pulling his hair out.
Now, we got a live show that's happening like right away. So we have to make sure that we record the whole show and then be out of here so that they can redress the whole sets. So they can do some professional shit, unlike what we're doing right now.
Yeah. So big thanks to Gary. Fusion, CCO holiday promo code if you want to save some money on the stuff you're going to buy anyways. You'd see the promo code on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Which you should be!
Editor Joe works hard. We appreciate him. We, today, for some fun and stories, have our good friend Kelly from Face to Face Games here. A little bit we're going to talk about the Canadian Magic Tour, but we just did an episode of Commander History on that, so check that out anywhere you find your podcasts or on the YouTube channel. But we had some questions because Innistrad's coming out, and we wanted to pick your brain as somebody who's kind of got the in the industry.
So wait a second here. This is Kelly.
Oh, yeah, the toast is somebody else.
Well, where's the hat?
Oh, where is the hat? Well, okay. Introduce yourself and tell us about the hat.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Really happy to be here. I'm Kelly from Face to Face Games.
Yep.
And a big fan of the show. Super happy to be here.
He's lying.
I'm not. Big fan of Fusion Games as well. They're great partners of ours, so big shout out to Fusion. And so most of you don't recognize me. I'm incognito because I'm not wearing my grandfather's hat today. It needs a day to rest before the big show tomorrow.
The storm, the calm before the storm.
Yeah, but it is here, and it will be on site tomorrow. I'm wearing my Battle Penguin toque here instead tonight. So the hat is a really special part of me, actually. If I can ramble for a moment.
Please do.
My grandfather was sort of a businessman who inspired me to sort of start my own business, and he's very old-fashioned. He's the kind of guy you kept a $100 bill in his shoe at all times because you never know when you just need a hundo.
Yes.
But he told me, when I was about 16 years old, we were at like a little family getaway for his 85th birthday in Montana. And he said, Kelly, if you're going into business, you need a good hat. Okay, good advice. So I took the one off his head and put it on my head. And he said, hey, give me my hat back. I said, no, you said I need a good hat. So I stole yours. And he really didn't want it back, but my grandmother didn't let him. He was like, "It looks so good on him. He looks good on you. Give him the hat. Give him the hat." So
the first business lesson was you need a good hat. The second one is it's okay to steal.
Well,
family, a little family theft. So that's, and then the hat sort of became a bit of my guiding star, my symbol of be in the center of attention, because at these shows, at these big face-to-face tour events, I'm usually the guy with the answer. So when other people, the other staff are like, "Oh, you got to go talk to the guy with the hat,"
all the time.
It's an easy way to communicate with folks who then need to wander across the convention center to find me.
If we had a counter for every time somebody in CCO Nation said, "Okay, just go talk. You see the guy with the hat? Go talk to him."
Yep.
The guy, orange shirt, hat, him. He's your guy. And it doesn't matter if it's you or I or one of our guests for a CCO experience or anything. It's like, "Hey, we got this pallet of pizzas that we got to deliver." Hat over there, that guy, all the time. Yeah. And didn't you lose it one time?
It's been lost and found many times.
Oh.
Many times. Yep. So it's been 6-7 years I've been doing the hat. So
Hat, yeah. Well,
travels.
there you go. It's like a pre-game ritual now, right? Like batters in the batting box, they do all their stuff, and they, all the. Yeah, it's a thing.
he just
say
puts
so.
the hat on
Yeah,
his
that's
head.
a thing. It's a sports ball reference. Yeah, it's a sports ball reference. So we've got Kelly here. He's in town from Winterpeg. Fusion's actually Kelly's local game store. Did you know that?
No.
He
It's
said
true.
his daughter goes there, dumpsters guys in Pokemon all the time. He said,
Really?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
throw
you-
down.
Yeah,
It's pretty
you
fun.
missed that part of the interview.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that.
People
Or-
actually play Pokemon.
Or maybe I was busy eating tacos on the couch and I couldn't hear you over the crunching.
Oh, yes, very much so. But not what we're talking about today. Not Pokemon, not pre-releases, not Fusion. We wanted to pick your brain a little bit about Innistrad because you played during OG Innistrad.
Buddy, I was running pre-releases back in before face-to-face games. I was running Innistrad pre-release, and I remember because I knew it was Friday. I knew I was going to be able to play the Sunday pre-release, and I thought maybe I should open my pre-release pool early, to build my deck because I'll be busy while everyone else is building on Sunday. I was like, no, I should save it because I don't want to open like the nuts and then have people accuse me, like, way to go, you just stacked it. And man, is it a good thing I waited because I opened the most insane pre-release pool to date.
Do you remember what it was?
It was black-red vampires. I had the Blood Gift Demon, the one that lets you a Phyrexian Arena every turn.
Yeah, or your opponent, if they're at 1, you can kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can nuke your opponent for 1 a turn. I had the flip, the Bloodline Keeper, flip vampire that poops out more little vampires.
That's the story I'm going to tell.
Okay. Then I had Olivia, the black-red Olivia, the legendary creature.
The one with the huge dink?
No, I think that was.
No, that was the
yeah,
OG
no,
one.
yeah,
That's
that was
OG
the
little,
original. Yep. So right there, 3 playable rares. I had the dude, the mad scientist who makes the 5/5 demons. Okay.
Ooh.
And then I had there was one other playable rare. Oh, it was one of the rare curses that actually was good. The black one. I can't remember what it did.
Oh man, yeah, I don't remember.
but
I remember the curse deck being a thing in limited though. Like if you drafted, because lots of them were uncommons, you could get a few curses and go to town, right? Yeah.
And then the only rare I had that wasn't on color was a foil Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, no.
I'm wiping my eyes with my wads of cash,
Yeah. Man, that's almost the exact same thing that I might have told the story on the cast before, but my first ever Innistrad draft, and I swear we're a Commander podcast, but just listen to how crazy this was. So I'm sitting, my first ever Innistrad draft, I'm sitting at a table, there's 2 guys on the long side, and then me and another dude are on the ends. Is that 8? Maybe there's 3 and 3 and 2. Yeah, there's 8 of us. And the dude that's sitting right next to me, his first draft ever, and young kid, maybe 13, whatever, 14, new at Magic, and not as new as I thought, it turns out. Do you remember, everybody was all hubbub and all up in arms? Oh, wow, these double-sided cards, we have to reveal them when we draft. There's no strategy because they know what I'm drafting, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, you're drafting werewolves. You're going to get pwned.
Yeah. Oh, unless the dude to my right opens Bloodline Keeper and shows Bloodline Keeper, and I put all my shit down all heavy, and I'm like, oh, wow, here we go. Our draft's got Bloodline Keeper. That guy's going to win. Literally best card in the set.
So good.
Because it shits out
So good.
vampires
Yeah.
every turn, and it's a
Limited
5/5 flyer
bomb.
or whatever. Yeah.
Limited bomb.
So he shuffles his pack up, picks his shit, shuffles his pack up, passes it to me, and I'm flipping through. Ooh, Bloodline Keeper, still in the pack. And I thought, man, this guy must be new.
This guy's stupid.
This guy's an idiot.
Yeah, he
and I'm
does
like,
no
buddy,
shit.
hey, literally, this is the best card in the draft. Like, there's nobody that opened up a better card than this one. You should probably take this one. He goes, no, I'm okay. I'm like, all right, this is the best card. It's gonna be good. You should build a black deck. He's like, no, it's fine.
Don't need it.
So I picked it. I freaking won prizes in that draft. I don't think I won it, but I won prizes. And then later I says to him, hey, why didn't you pick the Bloodline Vampire? And he goes, foil Snapcaster. I go, oh, wow. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm going to trade
He and I
it in.
probably opened the same booster pack.
Yeah,
probably
dude,
like went through a black hole from him to me.
I think I won like 3 packs or something in the draft, and he just traded his foil Snapcaster and he got a whole box. Oh, yeah.
Oh, remember when rares used to be worth a whole box?
When they used to matter,
Oh,
yeah. Well, I actually have one more Innistrad story, and this one directly involves Brando.
Me?
Yes.
I love stories
And
that I'm in.
You're going to remember as soon as I start telling it.
Okay.
So
Okay. tell me.
Brando and I one time, it's Innistrad and Dark Ascension. That was the next one, right? Dark
Yeah.
Ascension.
Sure.
Before Avacyn Restored
You
was
got it.
was the big set again, right? It went big, little, big.
Yep.
So we had like Innistrad, maybe 4 Innistrads, 2 Dark Ascensions, and we were doing sealed.
Okay.
2-headed giant sealed limited.
Was it you and me?
And we were the 2-headed giants.
Okay,
Yes.
man.
So it was me and you. And
We did really good.
we built you like some red green thing, werewolves.
Yep.
And we built me blue black vampires or mill or some shit, like as we do, right?
The mill deck is so fun.
So we were playing, and we sit down with this other 2 guys that we didn't know, and the guy shuffling, and then he flips his deck over face up, and he starts pile shuffling face up.
Oh, yeah, I do remember this.
Pile shuffling like land, card, land, card, land, or whatever, right? And then he gives it to you, and he says, "Can you cut?" And you pick up his deck, no sleeves, because why? And you start. He's like, "What are you doing, man?" I'm like, and then me and you just jumped on him. Hey, well, you're a pile shuffler. You can't stack your deck like that and expect us not to shuffle it. And then he was like, "Well, you can't shuffle somebody else's deck. I can randomize your deck in any way that I want that isn't damaging your cards."
Much.
And then he goes, "Well, you're damaging my cards. I've got foils in there." I'm like, should have sleeved it then. We're not giving this guy an inch.
No.
And then, oh man, oh fuck, it was so funny. No, well, it gets even better. When you took it back from him, you like card land to randomize it. Then you stacked it back up. That's what it was. That's what made him so mad, because you stacked it back up. You unweaved it.
Yep.
And he's like, "Well, you can't do that." And you said, "Well, I'm randomizing your deck." And then you started to shuffle it. Man, I told the story all wrong. But the point was, these guys like got so mad. They got so mad at us, and eventually he was like, "Well, give me my cards back, or man, this could get ugly. I didn't know we were gonna come show up and play with some assholes that are gonna wreck our cards. Like, how do you settle this?" And he was like, "Do you want to go outside and fight?" Like, that's where he was going.
Amazing.
And then Brando and I were just like, "No, I don't know. We can call the store owner. That's probably a better idea." And he's like, "Okay, fine. I'll just play the cards. But if I get mana screwed now, it's your fault."
All your fault.
Oh, that was our Innistrad 2-headed giant, and we dumpstered him too.
Yeah, we demolished them.
If it would ended up being a good game, it would have been fine. But no,
He got horribly managed.
Oh yeah, you start at 30 life or whatever, right? And man, we were at like 28, and they were at -10. Like
Yeah,
it was,
And you milled them.
and we milled them,
Yeah.
and we poisoned them. And,
It was a heavy beating. It was a heavy sack beating. Is what it was.
Yes, yeah. So
And that's not even the first time that I did something like that either. It doesn't make me sound like a huge asshole. Somebody else did that whole mana weaving thing again. I just took their deck and like card, land, card, and I unweaved it, and then I just put the stacks back together and then cut it a couple of times, just like they did before they gave it to me.
Yeah.
And I gave it back to them, and they were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I was like, that's how you shouldn't have showed me you were cheating. And then she just draws her hand and she looks at it. It's like, fine, I'll keep it. And it was 7 land.
Oh,
For the record, it was
She
7
drew
lands.
the rest of the other 11 land in her deck, and then
And
man.
And I was playing Mono Red at the time when Goblin Guide was still a thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I turn 1 Goblin Guide swing. She shows me a land, puts it into her hand, plays a land, discards a card on her turn. I played another Goblin Guide, swinging with 2 of them, land into her hand. Then she played a land and discarded 2 cards. Oh, she
So
played the
good.
whole game. It was very funny. For me, she was very upset.
the reason I wanted to tell that story is because it was about weaving, and I told it wrong. But we've got Innistrad Remastered coming out. It's a compilation of all the Innistrad sets put together, and we wanted some intel from somebody in the industry about how it happens. And we talked about like opening packs and sorting machines, and tell us about that, because nobody gets it, I think.
We just go to Face or Fusion or wherever, and we like add it to our cart, and then you guys send it to us after we give you some money. So like, but before that, how does the card go from like? Do they send you big like bales of cards,
bricks.
that you buy for the store, or do you have to open boxes like the rest of us chumps? You know what I mean? Like, how does it happen?
It's a great question, yeah, because face-to-face games and other big Magic the Gathering retailers, our main business is buying and selling and trading in the single cards.
Yep.
And for anyone who's cracked a box trying to find that card you need and gone through 75 packs being like, where's that damn uncommon?
You ever crack a box there, Uncle Brando, and not get what you want?
Never.
So it really is, leave it to us to get the boxes cracked and get folks the cards you need. Because then you can just buy the single cards you need. And, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, it is better to buy the cards you need. New pack smell is delicious. We all love it. But do yourself a favor when you're hunting for specific cards. Just go to your local game store or shop, from us or anybody else, and grab the specific individual cards you need.
I'm going to add to that just for clarity's sake. Very specifically, don't order your cards on Amazon or buy them at Walmart.
Correct.
Are we cool with that? We can say that?
We can say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just making sure.
And the reason is because your local game store is going to host an event. They're going to have you out for draft. They're going to be someone who, when new product comes out that's rare and hard to get, you can, if you know your game store owner's name, you're going to be able to say, hey, can you put a box aside for me?
Yeah.
And actually get it. These are people who appreciate your business a lot more than a rounding error in Amazon's quarterly. And it's going to mean something to them that you chose to shop with them rather than and even us, like people call us the Walmart of Magic at face-to-face games because when they're grouchy at us, but I'm one of the owners. It's still owned by a couple of humans who live in Canada and shop at our local stores and things like that. It's how economies work.
You know what we say? We've said on Commander Cookout a couple times, like of the CCO Media Group and local game stores and Fusion and Face and our Canadian partners and brands here, is in all likelihood it's somebody's business, and like we say, we appreciate when people invest in our business, and that is somebody's gas money or food, or you can pay an employee, and that's somebody's job, right? So it matters to people, right?
Yeah, it absolutely does. So we appreciate all our customers. Thanks so much to everybody who does shop locally. Now, in terms of the mechanics, how do we get cards on our website?
Yes.
Because people always want to know, how do you guys have pre-orders up? Because we don't get the product any earlier than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? So one thing we'll do is we'll sort of guess at how many copies we're going to open. And so when Brando's cracking packs trying to find that one, we do the same thing. We just crack packs and sort. Now, generally a big store like us, we open enough product where we can pretty comfortably guess, okay, we're going to open X. That means we'll get this many copies of
there's
each
a
mythic.
distribution kind of chart that you can look at. We need this one mythic. We're going to open up this much of this kind of product, and it's at this rarity. There's math equations that can loosely govern how much product you think you should open, right?
Totally. And so we can do some math like that. Now, the challenge is, to be honest, I don't work in that end of the business anymore. I'm exclusively on the tour. But I will tell you some hilarious stories because we used to...
More hilarious than guessing?
back in the day, we used to take pre-orders, and then we would just crack until we hit that. And Wizards used to be very, very strict on when we could get the product. And so we would, they would say it cannot ship until, the day before release. Well, we're getting the product into the store on Thursday. The UPS guy would get to the store at like 2 p.m. on Thursday.
With a truck full of cards.
It would be most of a skid or whatever on a big set.
Like 6 foot tall, 4 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot high. It weighs 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, on a good set, we would be going deep. And sometimes we'd pre-sold, a couple of the hot mythics. And I definitely got greedy 1 or 2 sets. I think, when was it? It was one of the Zendikar. Anyway, I can't remember when it was, but we'd sort of oversold a couple of the mythics, and I was like sitting down with the boxes. This is Thursday afternoon, and we've got to have everything sorted, ready for pickup for Friday morning, 11 a.m. I'm there busting packs with a couple of the gang, and we're not hitting what we need, And I'm like, oh no, and we wound up opening an extra 3 or 4 cases of product, trying to get And then day 1, we're sold out of the hottest mythic rare. And meanwhile, I'm like, well, we got 13 of this bulk mythic. Did you want to add one of those to your order? And people are like, I'm good. So there's definitely been times where it doesn't work out as well as you want. But yeah, we used to definitely, Thursday night was Modern at the Toronto store back in the day. And we would sort of run our Modern event. And I'd be in the corner cracking, or somebody else would be in the corner cracking while Modern was going on. And then we'd shoo the Modern players out, and then 1 or 2 of the team would stay with me late, and we'd stay up till, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, sorting, organizing, sleeving up the stuff so that the box was ready for folks on Friday morning.
Did you get pizza at least?
Of course.
Did you drink beer?
Yep.
Good answer.
Yeah. When you're opening an extra 2 or 3 cases of cards looking for that rare, there's
sorting them at the same time.
Oh man!
It's fine.
So
we used to just dumpster what you don't need and just yeet it out of here. I don't want to see it. If it's not a frickin' Riku or a Rafika the Many during Alara, like that was the go-to. I remember that I wanted to crack. If it's not that, it's frickin' going over there. Yeah.
So we used to race. Just for fun, right?
Yeah.
And like, who can crack a box the fastest? So I hold the company record of cracking a 36-pack box in 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Cracking and sorting, or just cracking the
cracking
packs?
Base sort. So the base sort is the rarities.
Okay.
So you crack the pack, and then you deal like token, land, rare, 3 uncommons, commons.
Yeah.
And if there's a foil, you have to put the foil out. This shows you how long it's been since I cracked product, because I know that's not what booster packs look like anymore. But yeah, that was so I can crack and sort a box 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Oh
is the record.
man, that's freaking fast.
Most people can do like 3-4 minutes. 3 is a good time. But at 12 seconds though, man, it's like. Do you remember playing GoldenEye? And trying to get the cheat codes unlocked in GoldenEye, where like some of the levels, like 2 seconds made all the difference. Of like, no, you turned around, you weren't allowed. You wasted too much.
Wow, you're speaking the right language for guys in here, because we've got speedrun video gamers in here.
Okay, there
Producer
you go.
Gary and Brando, like they play hard, right?
So.
And so many jokes I could have made about the boss and the owner cracking the box the fastest and sorting the fastest and company time and hourly versus selling that one mythic you need to crack 6 boxes for. Even more jokes now because you've got machines to do that work now. You've taught machines how to do this.
There are these really cool robots that exist. Yeah,
taking the jobs of the Canadians.
Here's the thing though.
We need a union.
Machines sorting, uncommons from the new set. These are the jobs that humans don't want. Like, who wants to sort another 100 pounds of commons? You look around the warehouse and like, oh, nobody wants to stay late to sort the commons? Oh, weird. Oh, okay.
All right.
So yeah, now we have humans to do jobs that are actually important, and we get a robot to sort the commons.
Okay. Robot to sort the comments.
And the robot just hates you guys. Hey, he's just, when I get arms and legs, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, when I become self-aware.
It's looking at Solemn Simulacrum being like, one day, that'll be me,
Yeah. Does, do you, I think I know how this works, or how it can work. Do you guys have a robot, do you know? Or do you rent it or lease it out from somebody?
I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about.
Okay, yeah, that's
and
fine.
I legitimately can't remember how it works because, when I used to run just the Toronto store, we were never a big enough operation there. Most of the hard work of cracking and sorting and that happens at our warehouse in Montreal. And they would just prep everything nice for us in the later years and get us a nice little box all organized and good to go.
Yeah. Corner office, cushy job.
Oh, it must be nice.
Couch made out of mythics. Ooh. Yeah.
So
Stuffed with commons, though. Just
we
crumpled up
shred
commons.
and pack the pillows, with shredded commons.
Yes. No, shredded foils. Oh, because you got so many cards.
It's so sparkly.
Yeah, yeah. Those pillows that you brush them one way, they're a
Yeah,
picture. You
yeah,
brush them the other way. It's like live, laugh, love, or whatever. Yeah,
Magic.
yeah. Common, uncommon, rare. Oh man, we're doing such a good job talking about Innistrad. Wow.
Yeah. So I am genuinely pumped for this set. I know some people, remastered, whatever.
Yeah.
So Innistrad just has such a rich flavor to it.
It does. You can't argue with that.
I could, but I won't.
And there's a lot of folks. Innistrad was when I think a lot of people came back to Magic, either just after Innistrad or just before, and Innistrad was like really prevalent in the zeitgeist for a while. And like Liliana was she was a planeswalker from the first row, the first five.
For the
right?
Lorwyn 5.
But it was sort of like Liliana of the Veil is what most people think of, and that like sultry, seductress waltzing towards them is they're sort of what they immediately think of.
Yeah,
when they get
who did
to.
that? Was our RK posted that one?
No, it was. I'm gonna screw this up.
Steve Argyle.
Steve Argyle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Steve Argyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Brando's looking for her.
I can go try and
Brando's
find
going
it.
down and looking for her.
Yeah.
Is she in this set? I haven't looked at the whole thing yet.
There's like an old border one for sure. I'd imagine that.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. She's one of the best Liliana planeswalkers. One of the best and most competitive planeswalkers ever, right? In terms of the standard environment, and then maybe extended, but maybe modern when Jund was a
she
thing.
played in modern, yeah.
Yep.
And just a good character,
Yeah.
a good solid character
Yeah.
too. So a lot of people really remember it fondly. And I think Double Feature was sort of their first shot at sort of a remastered version. I know it's one of Brando's favorite sets.
Oh yeah, double feature. Yeah, he loves it.
But I think this is going to top even that in
Yeah.
terms of
You know what I love
Overall shittiness? Is that what it's going to be? Like,
about golf score, but Innistrad edition.
God,
It's the lowest score.
And not only is it Crimson Vow, not only is it Midnight Hunt, but it's mixed together. So, God, that was so bad.
man,
and they're
yeah.
charging more for it. At
was-
least here,
There's cards
some
that
weird
aren't just
stuff.
black and white.
It was a weird
Xeroxes.
product. It was a weird product.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
these ones are strange. Like, they're missing lots of stuff in Innistrad
So-
Remastered. Hey, like,
One thing I'll say for people who are like feeling a little down about it, of like, oh, it's just another remastered set, whatever, we've done this before. Go have a look at sort of how things have shaken out longer term with Dominaria Remastered. Obviously, Time Spiral Remastered.
Yeah.
The sealed Time Spiral Remastered.
And even
man.
Ravnica Remastered. Here we are a year later, and like, go find a collector booster of that laying around if you can.
because they have old border foil shocklands in it, right? Like,
But here's the thing. Even 3 months ago, those packs were not that desirable, right?
Oh, yeah?
Like even 3 months ago, it was like, it's over. It's just a remastered product. Nobody cared that much. And now here we are a year out, and everyone's saying, hey, who's got a box set? Oh, none? You're sold out too? Oh. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think these things are going to go the way old stuff usually goes. It's just hard to find long term, and people are going to be excited about it little by little. It's going to be a slow burn.
I really think with the remastered sets, they give you a really good snapshot, or that nostalgia snapshot of this is what it was like when I started playing. And Time Spiral was like that for you when you got back into things,
hell
right?
yeah. Time Spiral was so good.
And Time Spiral was that much better for people who didn't just start playing in 2007 and then quit for a while. But it was better because you got like that whole kind of Dominaria feel again.
Yeah.
And then you got the Dominaria feel with Dominaria Remastered. And Ravnica Remastered, same thing, because it's a beloved place that we've been to a whole bunch of times. Innistrad is all of those things, but in addition, if you knew nothing about Innistrad, Like if you didn't play OG Innistrad, you didn't play for the second time we went there, and you picked up a pack of Innistrad Remastered and looked at it, you'd say, oh, I get it. This is Jekyll and Hyde. This is Frankenstein. This is Dracula.
Yep.
This is the Swamp Thing. Like, it's the classic horror trope that just feels familiar. Like, I'll tell you, my wife's favorite set, she didn't even play Magic, is Innistrad. Because she's like, man, that set looks like every book I read in elementary school.
Yeah.
That's just a cool trope. It's just a cool world.
It's funny because so often we go to a plane and like in Magic, when they're producing, when they made Ravnica, it was just another set. They didn't understand what they had created in the moment. You know what I mean? And so like we got to experience this plane. People fell in love with it, and there's guilds and whatever. When they created Innistrad, same thing. They didn't know how popular it was going to be and how so many folks would fall in love with it. And the reason we go back to a plane a second time is to sort of take a new spin on it. With Eldritch Moon and Shadows over Innistrad, it was like, oh, now there's sort of an Eldritch horror theme to it, and sort of the evolution of that. And then, okay, now we're evolving again: werewolves, vampires, Twilight, whatever.
I got something to say about that real quick. You'll like it.
I think when we continue returning to planes, we start sort of going deeper down the sort of micro niche rabbit holes, like the Clue edition of like, okay, now it's Ravnica and we're detectives, like what's going on right now? It gets sort of more and more specific, but then a remastered set is like, hey, remember how we did it the first time?
Yeah, back to the roots.
Let's do that again.
Yeah. That's why you like Time Spiral Remastered so much, because it felt like all of the shitty stuff about Time Spiral that you didn't like, gone. All the best stuff that was the best for limited and fun.
In one box.
And desirable reprints, which is the huge thing for Commander players.
Yeah.
Is all in one box. And it's funny you mentioned Twilight. That was the go-to vampire movie. I want to say this of the Innistrad vibe and that trope, the classic horror novel or movie trope that they locked onto with OG Innistrad, and then the classic horror movie trope that they locked onto with
Duskborn.
Double feature.
Man, double feature could fuck off.
Yeah,
They
I know
latched
that.
onto nothing. They latched onto nothing.
I know,
with
but
that
listen.
set. Okay, don't
You
get me
talk
started.
about that overarching kind of umbrella of the classic horror movie. Think of the first horror movie of all time, Nosferatu.
Not 80s classic. He means like classic.
The oldest one ever from 1922.
There's Nosferatu, yes.
Right? Nosferatu just remade.
Yeah.
Right? And being called one of the best horror movies of all time. They take a classic, tried, true, tested thing and say, here it is with modern sensibility and modern technology, modern game design principles, technology we'll call that. See what we've done. We've taken all of the things that you love and we've modernized them. Right? It's like when Ford launched the new Mustang in 2006 and everybody lost their fucking mind about it, right? And then Chevy did it, then Dodge did it. Everybody's doing their classic muscle cars.
Or Coke. Remember that new Coke?
Nope.
Everybody hated new Coke. And then they went back to Coca-Cola. Not cocaine.
We are talking about different things.
No, man. I'm not talking about putting drugs in a submarine. I'm talking Coca-Cola was like, we have to make new things because
Yeah, that didn't go well.
And it didn't go well. So they
immediately went to Coke Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. I mean,
classic. I've been drinking a lot of Coke Zero lately.
That's gross.
I like
really
Coke Zero.
You know what I've been drinking a lot of lately too?
Beer.
Pile of Bones. Yeah. Me and Rusty Trom Jones are going to drink some tonight. You want to come?
Well, I thought that he was going to come with me.
Well, we're all going to go to the Coachman licensed beverage room. There's the token mention of the coach. Every episode, hey? Every episode. Hey, should we maybe get Rusty Trom Jones on? Maybe he's got a community story or something to say about Innistrad. Maybe he's got a funny Innistrad story. You got anything?
Does he?
You got some stuff?
Okay, all right.
Kelly, any parting words before we kick you off? Producer Gary's giving me like the sign, the signal.
I know it's time. Okay, so
Leave the
here's
bread.
what I am going to say.
Okay.
Love it or hate it, Innistrad Remastered, Akira Tron set that we're doing next week or whatever, Aether Drift, go play Limited. Because sometimes you don't have to love a set to love a limited format. And go give it a shot. Jump into a draft at your local store. Come out to the face-to-face tour. Play sealed deck with us or limited draft. Because sometimes you can fall in love with a set through how it plays in a 40-card format like that.
Yeah.
So just give it a try. Worst case Ontario, you wind up with a couple of shitty cards you don't care about, and
You put them in your commander deck.
put them in your commander deck, or give them to a child.
Give them to Uncle Brando. Our child. Yes. Yeah. Great advice. You know what? I didn't really love original Zendikar. Oh, it's supposed to be Explorer. It's going to be Indiana Jones. And it totally
It
wasn't.
was certainly not that.
But tell me that isn't one of the best limited formats of all time.
Even I like drafting
Yeah.
original Zendikar.
You could draft blue 5 Welkin turns one time I played against.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I
Frickin'
had
Welkin
played a
turns.
Geopede and frickin' Vampire Nighthawk, like two of the arguable best cards in the limited format, and all the black and red removal, still lost. To frickin' blue flyers that couldn't block.
Who needs to block when you attack?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for being on. Thank you for the Canadian tour. Of course, we're going to be going to as many of those as we can, and Kelly comes out to Magic Cons when he's able, and he's part of the CCO experience. And little beknownst to most people in the nation, Uncle Kelly helps us fill up the old onion bag.
Every once in a while.
And
if you see me on site, whether it's at a tour or a Magic Con or whatever, just come by and say hi. I usually have a little something to hook people up with.
Very cool.
My business card is worth 25 prize tickets. Not a lot of people know that, but you can show if I give you a business card, you're prize ticket rich.
And then you get the ticket. They give it to the ticket guys, and then you get your business cards back, and you never have to print more.
Hey,
that's genius.
Sustainability.
Well, I actually just when people show it, I just check it off that they've redeemed because everyone throws out business cards. Who holds on to business cards? I was like, I got to find a way to make my business card mean something. So I'm just bribing people.
Okay, very good. Well, that's the final business lesson of the day, I guess, is
bribery, theft,
and hats.
Hats. There we did it.
There you go.
We've done it. We've succeeded.
Tell us about your favorite Innistrad stuff in Innistrad Remastered. Producer Gary will go to you, and then we can switch guests. And
all right, we'll do that. Okay, so the things that I enjoy about this set more than, some other sets probably, is nothing. I actively don't like this set very much. And Kelly says, go out and play in limited formats and all those things. And yes, that is a thing that you should do, but I will not do because I don't really like limited that much. And they skipped over. They skipped over lots of reprints I think should have been in this set that aren't here. Parallel Lives is the one that keeps jumping into my brain. Mm-hmm. Not here, which is why is that not here? It's a $40 card that you could have printed and brought it down to $1, but you didn't. And no Toxrill, as we talked about yesterday on the pre-show.
As we talked about.
Oh, that's good.
I'll see myself up.
They have the Melding Angel. She's on the screen here that makes Brazella.
Yep.
They didn't do movie posters of them either. Which I just think are just big misses. So for me, there's virtually nothing for me in this set because I have all these cards. Innistrad was one of those sets that came out at that time when cards were still cheap-ish. You know what I mean? You could get rares that people actually wanted for not $100,000. They didn't have a million different printings of stuff, so cards are just attainable because there's only one printing and it's fine.
Hold on, I have to stop you. I see a problem. Undo that as Velcro zip tie, and you'll be golden. Yeah. There we go. Continue.
We're doing this. All right, we're fixing. We're putting out fires.
Fixing problems.
We're putting out fires as we go along. So for me, this isn't a set that I'm going to partake in any. I probably won't interact with it at all. I've got a confession. Unless Ryan is going to do something.
I've signed Uncle Brando up and Rusty Trom Jones up for Two-Headed Giant Sealed tomorrow.
Well, then I will do that.
Okay.
I will do that. But past that, this is Rusty Trom Jones.
Perfect
it's our friend
timing.
Brad.
Let's go.
Yeah. He's our buddy Brad from Vancouver. Yep. I slept in his house. I went through all of his drawers. I know he's not hiding anything that I'm going to expose here on the show.
Yep.
And he's a generally fine human being.
Yeah, Brad is in town from out of town for the face-to-face tour stop. Yep. And we wanted to have him on the show because we're talking a little bit of roundtable style. Of course, we were talking Innistrad. We were talking funny stories before the show. We wanted to know if you have any funny stories about Innistrad, about gaming. I'm thinking of one maybe that happened at the CCO Experience Calgary with one Mac that somebody lost a bet.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
Okay,
actually,
give us the story.
Yeah, I mean, we were just sitting around. We were playing some Commander, and
Make sure you're close enough.
we got to talking here, and I forget how it came up. But we were talking about football, and Max from Kansas City.
Yep.
And the Chiefs just lost.
I'll paint the picture. The Chiefs had just got their first loss of the year, and they were going to play the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers, and that's how it all started. You thought the Chiefs were going to lose again.
At the time, the Panthers were probably the worst team in the league.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and Max, like, they're going to fall off the cliff. That's it. They're going to lose to the Panthers. And I was like, no way that's happening. No way. It's not going to happen.
He was betting against his own team?
He was betting against his own team. He says they're going off the cliff.
What a bandwagon jump.
Yeah, trains off the tracks.
He's a 2012 Patriots fan.
He's an every season Riders fan. That's
Yeah. So I'm like, well, let's make a bet. He goes, one of us has to eat a Strixhaven Stadium. Yeah. So I took the Chiefs, he took the Panthers, and he did not win that bet.
He had no faith. He should have just said, yeah, you know what, the Chiefs are probably going to win. And now he has to eat a card. Foil or non-foil?
We didn't specify. Did not specify. But
I'm sure. Okay, now a card.
Now you probably want to do non-foil because the ink is bad enough, but
Yeah.
that plastic layer probably is stuck in your teeth.
99% made out of cellulose, and then there's an adhesive added to it, and they're like pressed together.
Yeah,
and then they're inked.
I
Right?
do have a nice foil one I could send to him though.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I mean, offers on the table.
We could. Hey, I think I've done an altered art version of one. Maybe we can eat a bunch of acrylic
Yeah,
paint
eat some
too.
paint.
I hope he's watching and just shaking his head. Why did I take the?
He's
frickin'
like, I
Panther?
made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Even I know you don't pick the Panthers. Even I know that. It's like picking
it was-
the Browns
I
or
was
the Jaguars.
I was shocked. My jaw hit the floor, and then he went around to the people playing Plinko and stuff, and was like, "You guys all see this? We're making this bet." And Aiden's just like, "What is going on?"
Oh yeah, because Aiden's big time sports guy. He knows lots about sports.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So you brought up the Calgary, our situation at the table. Tell us a little bit about, because I think besides Brando and I think you're the first guest ever to come on who's been to a CCO experience.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Checks out.
You've been to Vegas once or twice?
Well, I did Vegas without you guys this year.
Yes.
Which was very fun.
We're not going to
Very
talk
fun.
about that.
Yeah, we won't talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then I went 2 years ago.
2 years ago to Vegas.
Yep.
And you did Calgary with us a couple months ago.
Calgary was a blast, yeah.
And we did a tour weekend, sort of. It wasn't an official CCO experience in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But I stayed with you at your girlfriend's house
Yeah.
with your wonderful dogs. And we went out on a walk that neither of us even remember going on.
Yeah.
Watched
correct.
some Oilers games. Brando and Sam stayed at your house proper.
Yeah.
And we just made a whole, like, it kind of felt like a family reunion where we're all staying at different places.
Yeah, and I mean, and T Coates and Amy and Aaron were there.
Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
crew there,
And they were staying up by us, so there was a lot of vehicles moving around,
Yep.
and yeah, it felt good. We all went to the water. We went for that walk.
Yeah.
Did
Yep.
a bunch of stuff. Spent a lot of time hanging out.
The after party at the Alibi Room, you had planned that.
I was hosting that because I was so stressed out about it.
You booked it and like invited people and took down names and numbers, and we secretly procured a box of M21 to
yeah,
try and
baby.
open up Brash Taunter, and Uncle Brando cut what probably could be the best Magic the Gathering promo ever cut. You cut a mean promo. Kelly was there. And
Yeah.
man, it was
He remembers
like,
it, probably.
it was intense and funny and like no misspoken words. And it ended with,
And then we didn't open one.
But that box was hot as hell.
That was
Yeah.
a good box.
Yeah.
It was a great box.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no Brash Taunters.
it ended up there was 4 or 5 of the Garrick's,
The textless ones.
the textless ones. Yeah, there was a textless one, and then there's one that has like no text on it, no flavor text,
There's
no
not a
abilities,
word on it.
not a word on the
Yeah.
card. And somebody opened up a foil. What was it? A foil vampiric tutor.
Yeah, and Grim Tutor.
Oh, yeah, Grim Tutor, and then foil Grim Tutor back to back.
Boom, boom.
Oh man, whole drink.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
That was a really good box.
That was a good day.
Yeah, and
That was
then
a
we
good box
just
and a good day,
frickin'
a good time. That's
we
what
just
that
cabbed home after.
Yeah. Yeah. Had a good time.
Yeah. So thank you for that, and thanks for coming on. We wanted to just put a face to the name because we
Talk about you all the time.
So often we bring up a Rusty Trom Jones this, or do you remember that funny time on Sidewalk Slam, whatever, right?
Name in the nation.
Best nickname in the
Yeah.
nation is what producer Gary says. And we have your deck picked out for Sidewalk Slam. Game 1, Season 3, Brad versus Brando and another guest that we'll reveal on the show, and another guest we'll reveal on the show who's tried a few times.
He's still over in the corner reading that shampoo.
Yeah, I think everybody knows Thomas is going to be on because he's had two or three failed recordings. But
He tries so hard. Now, I have a question for Rusty Trom Jones.
Sure.
Because we were talking before we started playing, where I took a break from like store play Magic right before OG Innistrad came out. It was right when Extended had been cut, and that's what I like to play, and I just didn't really want to do draft, and just life was kind of fiddle-faddle, so I stopped playing around then. But Brad also told me that you stopped playing around OG Innistrad as well, and I thought the story was really funny.
yes.
So I was kind of hoping you would maybe tell it to the people also, because it's a good story. Kelly got to tell a funny story. Now you will tell it.
with politically correct name
We'll
calling, please.
we'll keep it PC. I mean, it was a little bit before that, but basically what happened is like when I was in school and kind of in my early 20s, I was playing I wasn't even playing really store Magic. I was playing lots of kitchen table Magic, playing with my buddies, making just stupid decks, doing stupid crap, just killing time. And it was like Magic and League of Legends. There was a lot of that going on at the time. Sure. And I finished school. I started working. I ended up doing a bunch of work like in a camp in kind of the middle of nowhere.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do, trying to get your foot in the door and some bucks. And these guys, they found out I was playing Magic, and they basically bullied me out of it. And they freaking called me a bunch of names and hassled me, and they stole my work boots 2 times. 2 times. Yeah, and I was working where I was working. The closest place to buy boots was an hour and a half drive away.
Okay. So if anybody's ever worked up north at a camp, like the thing that you don't steal is guys' work boots, because that's the only thing that isn't provided by the employer as a consumable. They stole your hard hat, get a new one. You steal your gloves stole, get a new one. They stole my jacket. Okay, well, you can work inside for this shift, right? But if you steal a guy's work boots, he can't even go to site. He can't even work.
Yeah, I basically couldn't leave the trailer.
Oh, man.
I had to walk out to the van, drive to town, and get new boots. So.
They stole your boots. You went an hour and a half in a van, bought new boots, came back, and they stole those ones too. Did you ever get these boots back?
Oh God, one of the guys was wearing my boots.
Oh,
and he's like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?" And I was like, "Well, go buy some more boots."
What are you gonna do about it, nerd?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
No. Oh no. Okay, so moral of the story: if there's 2 morals from our 2 guests, it's play more Magic at your local game store from our good friend Kelly.
Yeah.
And the other one is, I guess, don't tell construction workers.
Yeah.
No, but listen,
Sleep in your boots. There we go. We got
Sleep
it.
in your boots. Yeah. No, I have a totally different camp experience from you. And I worked at, I don't know how big your camp was, but I stayed in camps that have like thousands of guys. And they saw me watching Magic content on my phone one time at supper and asked me if I play. And they said, "Oh yeah, we play this or that or whatever." And they like invited me to play, or one of the job stewards, because I worked in labor relations, so I dealt with the union guys lots, was a huge D&D guy. And he's like, "Wait, you do Commander Cookout? No way, my buddies watch that." And he's like, "Do you play D&D? We run campaigns like every Wednesday that we get to work." And I'm like, "Cool. Yeah, we do voices and we dress up and shit." And I'm like, "Wait, at camp?" He's like, "Oh, no. No. But man, if you're ever in Calgary, you should come by." And I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah,
totally opposite
that's awesome.
experience.
I would have loved that. Would have changed a lot of things. But probably would have played Innistrad.
Man.
We got to wrap her up.
We got to wrap.
live
Yeah,
show
hey.
we got to set up for here.
Thank the business daddies. thank everybody and do your final thought of the day.
Oh my
No
God.
pressure. Don't screw it up. We have a hard out, or producer Gary's going to kick us out forever.
Okay, I can do this. So thank you very much to the Business Daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're your source for all your gaming needs. Special promo code CCO Holiday. Save yourself 5% off all the Innistrad stuff or regular stuff that you're going to buy anyway. Thanks to Kelly from Face to Face Games for being here and supporting us and giving us a place to play. Thanks for Brad Rusty Trom Jones for rolling in and being on the show and just coming to town and spending some time drinking some beer with us, watching some hockey with Ryan and stuff. That's a good time.
Yep.
Thanks to Pile of Bones for providing the beer that we will probably drink mostly tomorrow or the day after.
Yes.
It has happened already because chronologically time is a construct, and we went over that on the pre-show.
I would say this. Both.
Ah, yes. Yes, we are in the nation. It's Bender o'clock, baby, and we're going to get to that, and we'll tell you all about it on the next exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our